There are those who have sought to break the cycle of time, to end the perpetual rise and fall of kings, nations, and empires. Despite their grand proclamations of empires that would last 1,000 years, or that ideals and ideology would stretch into eternity, time has not cared for these displays of grandeur, and all have found themselves swept under a tide of war, evolution, or collapse. But on one world, the cycle was broken. Rothz was once a jewel of the galaxy, a shining desert stretching across a supercontinent that made up much of the planet's surface. Yet despite this harsh nature, it teemed with life. Today though, it is an atomic wasteland, the final and greatest impact of their unification. More troubling, this was not the unintended consequence of a war or an energy crisis, but a deliberate act designed to break the cycle of history, a willing sacrifice on the altar of order and unity. The moment the order was given, Rothz ceased to be a living entity, and instead became the tool of a cold and calculating machine that turned it into a hellscape, a machine known as the Unerring State. Before the unification, it was the most powerful state of the Rothz. It was a totalitarian dictatorship under the complete control of the National Revolutionary Corps, a party that lived for insurrection. They emerged in opposition to the parasitic supercontinental elite who cared for nothing but their own rod. To the people, the party stood for progress, strength, and palingenesis. But what mattered to the party's elite was the belief that the history of the Rothz was an endless, torturous cycle of rising and falling without progress and without betterment for the Rothz race. Such vicious cycles have but one panacea: revolution against all that exists. This is why the overlord of the party, Lord Rothz, posited that the unification of the Rothz race under the rule of the party was worth the destruction of the world. After ensuring critical political, military, and economic institutions remained intact, he orchestrated a series of events which would drown Rothz in radioactive fire. Despite his efforts, he perished alongside the billions he condemned to death. His planning, however, succeeded in maintaining the survival of the party state. They emerged and quickly enveloped the supercontinent. In order to prevent the Rothz from backsliding into cyclical history, the party initiated a brutal campaign of reconstruction and industrialization, for the party's will was to be forged in everything the planet and the people could offer. It mattered not that some would go without rations, and it mattered not that the factories oozed death as their refuse. Fates worse than death awaited those who could not meet their quotas. If the planet could recover before, it was now irrevocably a doomed world. In spite of it all, the party's endeavor found success. In the tenure of Lord Rothz, the Rothz find themselves poised to claim the stars as their own. The fires of the completed revolution scarred the Rothz with the inscriptions of Lord Rothz, pushing them beyond the precipice of glory, out of the firmament of their dead world. The party intends to bring these scars across the stars. Even the void will be a spitting image of Rothz. But the emptiness of the void can never sate the hunger of the party. It hungers for revolution, for a new opportunity to hold history by its head, and to inscribe its teachings on new flesh. If there are sentients out there, and they have achieved victory over history, then the party intends to embrace them as brothers. But if they remain ignorant still, then the party shall be glad. They shall be glad to unfurl the banners once more, and revolt against all that exists. Yo, this is the guy who made this video. Thank you for watching this. If you're hearing this, hopefully that means you've watched the whole thing, and I hope you enjoy it. As you may know, this is my submission for Stellaris Invicta Season 3, and I hope it gets in. If it doesn't, it's fine. I'm actually just glad that I even made this in the first place. It was a very fun experience, and if people enjoy me and my content, then sure, I might consider continuing and doing more stuff like this. But if they don't, well, I'll do it in spite anyways. But yeah, thank you for watching, and as always, subscribe for more. See ya! Post has been fact-checked by real permanent sitting members of the Presidium Congress of the Lords of the Rothaki of the General Executive Secretariat, which is like laureate. You know, that's not a typo. Of the Party Executive Political Committee of the 13th General Congress of the National Revolutionary Corps, Kargaki Wing of the Unerring State. True.